3 years. That is how long I traded before I figured out what was actually wrong with me. Not my strategy, not my indicators, not my broker, me. And the crazy part is, the thing that fixed everything did not cost me a single dollar. It did not come from a course, a mentor, or some secret formula I found online. It came from 1 week where I did something so simple it felt almost too boring to work. And somewhere in this video, there is a detail most traders completely skip over that quietly separates the ones who make it from the ones who quit. Keep watching. I want you to think about the last time you were absolutely certain a trade was going to work. You had the setup, you had the confirmation, everything lined up. And then it did not work, and something in you cracked a little. Not a lot, just a little. And you told yourself, okay, adjust the strategy. Find a better entry, maybe a different indicator. So you went back to the charts and you tweaked things, and it worked for a little while, and then it stopped working again. I did that cycle for 3 years. 3 years of fixing the wrong thing. And then 1 week changed all of it. Here is what nobody tells you when you start trading. The market is not the hardest part. You are the hardest part. Your strategy can be perfectly fine, and you can still lose consistently because of what is happening between your ears when the trade goes live. I had a solid strategy, back-tested, proven, profitable on paper. But the moment real money was involved, something shifted. I would cut winners too early because I was afraid of giving back profit. I would hold losers too long because admitting I was wrong felt like failure. I would skip setups after a losing day because I felt cursed. None of that had anything to do with my strategy. All of it had everything to do with my psychology. And I kept ignoring it because fixing psychology felt vague. Fixing an indicator felt concrete. So I kept fixing the wrong thing. After 3 years, I finally hit a wall. Not a dramatic blow-up, just a quiet moment where I sat back and thought, I have been doing this long enough that I should be further along than this. Something is off, and it is not the chart. So I did something that felt almost embarrassing at the time. I stopped trading for 1 week. Not to rest, not to study a new strategy. I stopped trading to watch myself. Every single day that week, I sat down at my desk at the same time I would normally trade. I pulled up my charts, I found my setups, and then I wrote down exactly what I felt. Before the trade, during the trade on paper, after the trade. And what came out of that journal scared me a little, because I realized I was making decisions based on emotions I did not even know I was feeling. Fear I had labeled as caution. Revenge trading I had labeled as conviction. Overconfidence after a win I had labeled as momentum. I had been lying to myself for 3 years, using words that sounded reasonable, and the journal caught every single one of them. By day 3, something clicked. I noticed a pattern that had nothing to do with price. Every time I had a losing trade, the very next setup I took was slightly outside my rules. Not completely outside, just slightly. Like my brain was trying to make back the loss as fast as possible, but was smart enough to dress it up as a normal trade so I would not notice. And every time I had a winning trade, I would take the next setup with way too much size. Same thing, brain chasing the feeling of winning instead of following the plan. I was not trading my edge, I was trading my emotions, wearing my edge as a costume. And the only reason I caught it was because I wrote it down every single day and read it back to myself. You cannot argue with your own handwriting. When I came back to live trading, I made 3 small changes. First, I started writing 2 sentences before every trade. What is the setup and what am I feeling right now? Second, I set a rule that after any losing trade, I had to wait 15 minutes before touching anything. Not because the market changes in 15 minutes, because I change in 15 minutes. Third, I cut my position size in half for the entire month after that week. Not because my strategy changed, because I needed to prove to myself I could follow the plan without the size pressuring me into emotional decisions. None of those changes touched my strategy. All of them touched my behavior. And within 30 days, my results looked different. Not because I found a better setup, because I finally stopped sabotaging the setups I already had. Before I get into the last part, make sure to hit that subscribe button to support the channel. What I'm about to share is the part that actually stuck with me long after that week ended. Here is what that 1 week actually taught me. The market gives you information. Your job is to respond to that information without your past interfering. Every time you bring a losing trade into your next decision, you are not trading the market anymore. You are trading your memory of the market. And your memory is biased, it's emotional, it's looking for revenge or validation or comfort. None of those things help you execute. The journal worked because it created distance between the emotion and the decision. It forced me to slow down enough to see what I was actually doing instead of what I thought I was doing. And once you can see it, you can change it. But you have to be willing to look. Most traders never look. They just keep adjusting the chart and wondering why nothing changes. 1 week, a pen and a notebook. That's all it took to finally see what 3 years of chart studying could not show me. If you've been trading for a while and something still feels slightly off, the answer is probably not in your strategy. Sit down this week, not to trade, just to watch yourself trade on paper, and write down what you feel. Do it every day for 7 days, then read it back. You might not like what you see, but you will finally know what to fix. Drop a comment below and tell me how long you've been trading. I read every single one.